Warriors of the linear variety, welcome. I'm Scornful Exultation, and this is Line War. This match is from Group B of the official T2 1v1 tournament, which is running from July 1st to July 7th. If any of you would like to pick up a copy of Line War, I'll put a link to the Steam page in the description below. Down there you'll also find a link to the tournament bracket, as well as a link to the Line War Discord, where you can get development updates, find matches, and connect with our lovely community. With all of that said, let's get into the match. And here we are. We've got Basantos in blue, Daseabneren in red. Both of these guys are extremely strong players. Basantos also happens to be one of the devs. I want to say he's the CEO of Studio Centurion officially. But I haven't seen a lot of his games, but the few games I have seen have been extremely impressive. All of the kind of knowledge and like just intimate awareness of the game and what players are going to tend to do, and really how to use the units and maneuver on the map are all very big strengths of Basantos' play, as one would expect from the developer of the game. And I've talked about Daseabneren before. Third place in the previous tournament. Very strong player, especially on naval maps, which we have today. But this is going to be a Group B match, and without further ado, let's break down this map. I haven't seen any matches on this map just yet. Looks like we've got a bit of a big island situation going on. So we've got one big island. It's almost a two island setup, but there is this little land bridge here in the west on the western side. Quite a few clusters of economy eco sites dotted throughout. I see quite a few trade routes going on. We've got one there. Okay, so it's just so it's not as many as I thought. It's just that they cross and it makes it look like there's more. So I think this is only two routes. We've got more routes. Oh, there. Okay, so there's a route here, and then there's a route here. This could be a strong starting point. Good access to kind of like the water here. Got a local trade route, so you can you can pre-build this trade route, is what that means in my own kind of terminology. Oh, there's also a little sneaky one up here in the northwestern corner. Kind of hard to say, kind of at a glance, which side is going to be stronger, because it kind of looks like it lends itself to a north-south split. The north has two cities. I think the south is probably a bit stronger. Two cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So it looks like there's a little bit more down here. Worth noting, there are 5 energy wells up here in the north. 2, 3, and then also kind of this northeastern territory is a bit of a wild card. A little closer to the, I mean, it is in the northern part of the map, but it's an island, so whoever controls the sea is going to have a better chance at locking down that northeastern island. And honestly, that's probably what this match is going to come down to, is who's got better control of the sea. If you can control the water, you've got a much better chance at getting some of these trade routes up. You just have a lot more freedom on the map. If you don't have control of the water, the only way to move between north and south is this tiny little land bridge, and then even the main islands, or like the main land of the islands themselves, is pretty narrow, so not going to take a lot of army to hold up a larger army. But that's all for the map. Let's get into pick phase. Should be noted, these guys do tend to be on the slower side of picking. Not like a someone like Valathor who almost immediately recognizes where he wants to put his first zone down, especially. If I was playing on this map, I'd be thinking about probably this corner right here. Like, it's corner, but at the same time you have access to a local trade route, and then if you go quickly into expansion play, there's the chance to get a second trade route going very quickly. Also worth considering is this area right here. You have a town site and 2 energies very close by, and these energies are far enough away from the shore that they're not likely to get sniped by cruisers and other naval vessels. The north also has, or it seems to have, kind of like more territory maybe. I'm not someone who's going to take the time to actually count every single territory, but just eye test, it looks like there's a bit more kind of open space. Starting here probably wouldn't be bad either, or starting like near this this crossing point could also be very strong, because if you can get one side and then like a piece of the other side, that's going to be a very big handicap to your opponent. But starting over here takes you away from these trade routes over here on the east side, on the eastern side. And I mean, I guess there is this energy well, kind of close to the shore, but it's also very out of the way. This might not be bad. No, I think it'd be pretty bad. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe. No, I don't think you want to do that. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that could work. The idea is to get this early trade route going and take an energy well, but it kind of puts you, it's so far away from the center of the map, you give up a lot of map control. Both players targeting the northern island. Basantos, I think, gets or not Basantos. Basantos is blue. Daseabneren in red is, I think, gets the better end of this pick, having like a full 6 territories under his control here. Basantos got his territories kind of like split up. He's got 1 hanging off here, and then he's only got these 3 to choose from. So Daseabneren could put down a zone of interest up here, block Basantos from... he could effectively seal Basantos off of this position. That said, this isn't a super strong position, but I think it's a little bit stronger than what Basantos has. Now, I think as far as kind of like pick strategy goes, you could continue putting down zones of interest in the north and kind of compete with the other guy to try and get this control of the northern island. I'm going to refer to these as North Island and South Island, even though they are technically connected. But yeah, you can continue to use your picks to try and control this North Island, get a better spot up here, or you could start looking at kind of secondary picking locations. Both guys go up to the north, and they both put down kind of like a defensive pick. So I don't think either of these picks are places where that player wants to start necessarily, but just trying to limit the starting options of your opponent. So Basantos is going to deny Daseabneren this trade route. This town especially, I think, is what he was really targeting here. And Daseabneren making it so that any kind of pick up here in the northeast for Basantos would be a very uncomfortable starting location. Worth noting, there is no cross-pick potential for this island from the mainland. I mean, like, you can take this island and this little tiny island, but I don't think that gives you enough to warrant that pick. So looks like the North Island, I don't expect to see any more picks up here. Probably going to see, move down to the south. And kind of have a bit of a reversal. Basantos is going to take this big open area towards this connecting this pass, I guess. We'll call it the mountain pass. Because it's through mountainous terrain, which also kind of makes it difficult. Daseabneren going to double down and consolidate this more central pick. So kind of centered to like the true center of the map area. But as far as the land area, I'd kind of consider this the center, the mountain pass. But Daseabneren going to consolidate his east slash center pick. Has this trade route available. In the past, we've seen Daseabneren go very quickly into expansion. Even going so far as to sacrifice one of his territory picks so that he has extra capital to build producers and infrastructure. Basantos is also, from what I've seen, he's also very quick about expanding on island maps. And this could very well be treated as an island map despite this mountain pass here connecting North and South Island. And Basantos still playing for the north. He's still playing for this northern island. Takes a very aggressive pick here. This is a very risky strategy, I think. Because if Daseabneren were to start here in this little strip of territories, he would have a pretty significant numbers advantage on Basantos. And with all of this terrain here, it could take that would impede Basantos' units getting to the front. So he could be putting himself in a position where he could end up losing, 2, 3, 4 squads. 2 or 3 squads. I think if he's got 4 squads up here, it'd be an even enough fight that he would be able to that he wouldn't be completely run over. Goes 3. Daseabneren taking the southern position, not going for the centermost position, but going for this eco cluster here. 2 towns, energy well available. Basantos getting a, and this is going to pay off for Basantos, I think, because he's in position to. He's got a little bit on both islands, so Daseabneren are going to need to move very quickly with his expansion efforts. And Basantos sends a scout out. Actually manages to split this first squad, which is really useful, so he can still get a little bit of their economic value out of these units while still getting the intelligence value out of it, or out of that initial squad. Daseabneren also going for a quick scout. He should see this fairly soon. Being very patient with his early buildings, gets a town, 2 shipyards pre-built. Doesn't see anything yet. Does Basantos see? Basantos does have vision. So Basantos now knows where Daseabneren is. Goes for airport, barracks. Whenever I see this kind of layout of a airport and a barracks right next to each other, to me that signals that this player is wanting to go for commando play at some point. We see a helicopter in production first, This looks like a cruiser hull and a missile boat hull. Under construction now. Daseabneren does see this, it looks like, pulling back. 2 factories in production and a farm. So should be an early economic advantage for Daseabneren, 395 to 350. And that 45 capital difference is literally just the town. Barracks on the way as well. Gonna need that. Gonna need the barracks for meat shields to keep his factory units alive. Probably all should have also noted that Basantos does have 2 factories as well. And with how narrow these land masses are, the Navy will actually be able to influence the ground fights quite a bit. Basantos probably sees this town by now. Yeah. So Basantos knows that this town is here. Wouldn't be surprised to see him target it with the helicopters, but Daseabneren already having a missile boat on the water is pretty fortunate for him. A good call to go for that missile boat. I expect we'll see a destroyer. Second airport for Basantos. So what I think Daseabneren is doing is both shipyards are alternating. One is alternating destroyer cruiser, the other one is, so this one is alternating cruiser destroyer, the other one is going missile boat cruiser. That's what it looks like. That's what I'd expect. I'm a little worried that he doesn't have, or that we don't see a shipyard producing transports, and there's no transport technology on the way. Daseabneren does have his first refinery coming. Don't see a refinery yet. Ooh, Basantos. Going for the energy wells up here, which is a good move. These are going to be very safe, and I think we might see him go for the trade route here very quickly as well. Is that a striker? That is a striker. Alright. So helicopter, striker, looks like alternating. Sam on the field for Basantos. Should be seeing a Sam coming out soon for Daseabneren. Both these guys, as well as most high-level players, are going to have a pretty good Sam position before they even see an aircraft. They just kind of get that by default. Oh, I was wrong. It's not destroyer. It's missile boats out of both. Missile boats and cruisers out of both of these shipyards. Little entrenchment in the forest. Daseabneren quick to pull away from it, or quick to recognize and pull away. Gonna need some sort of hold position command to keep these units from re-engaging, if that's what he wants to do. Looks like he's got a stronger army here locally. Basantos devoting quite a bit of strength to this northern area, and quite spread out as well. So what is this? 2, 3, 6, 8. No SAMs yet. So probably going to be probably wants to rely on the missile boats, but only 2 missile boats on the water and only one of them here. Gonna make his anti-air, gonna make Daseabneren's anti-air not enough to deal with how much air power Basantos has. Daseabneren gonna need to make use of his cruiser for anti-air. Basantos deploys his aircraft against this small little flotilla, I guess. We'll call it a flotilla. It's not big enough to be called a fleet just yet. Quickly pulling back. This is a tactic we you'll see commonly. Since aircraft are most commonly deployed on a point command, a strong move for aircraft is to simply pull back out of range and out of aggro range of that point command. Looks like Daseabneren gonna lose this cruiser though, and not get any kills in return. Basantos setting up a big arc here to get a favorable engagement against this push from Basantos. Another barracks. Do we have any eco from Basantos? First farm. Refinery on the way. Another cruiser and missile boat on the water. Destroyer now. Daseabneren still pushing forward. Basantos gonna launch an air sortie against this town. I don't expect that Basantos will be able to stop this town from going down. Ooh, Basantos cutting it close. Yeah, there it is. I was about to say, I do expect that refinery to come up in time, and it comes out just in time. Basantos pulling the ships back, and with only 3 strikers attacking, it's going to take a number of passes for the aircraft to actually kill this. So that's time for these boats to get in position. Not going to be able to stop the town from going down again, I think, but should be able to get a kill in response. Ooh, Basantos cancels the sortie, loses a striker anyway. I don't like that decision. I think at that point you commit and just you get that damage in. I don't think it would have taken too many more passes, but Basantos gets out, decides to limit his losses as much as possible, and loses 1 striker. Town and port now for Daseabneren. Still no transport. 592 to 602, so very close. Basantos believes that he can break this entrenchment with the use of his aircraft. I'm inclined to... I was gonna say I'm inclined to agree. He's definitely gonna be able to hurt this pretty bad. I don't think he'll be able to break out in any significant manner though. Worth noting, he does have a position down here in the southwest corner. So, gonna make it as difficult as possible for Daseabneren to take this energy well, and could potentially put production down there. Ooh, Basantos starting to roll down starting to roll the flank of this entrenchment. Significant missile boat presence in this bay here. Gonna be able to do a lot of work to stop the aircraft from being used. So yeah, Basantos gonna be able to do a lot of damage to this, but he's gonna be able to knock down a lot of units, but he's not gonna be able to like break out necessarily. 1 striker goes down. I think we saw at least 1 helicopter go down over here. Basantos pushing the artillery up, gonna be able to push these missile boats a little bit further back. Or kill them if they don't move. Do we have any transports yet? Another town. 810, 652. Subpen and a farm on the way. Where's that barracks? heard of barracks. Over here, we should see transports here soon from Daseabneren. Realizes his ships are getting shelled and pulls back a little bit. Sam's hitting the field. Basantos with an opportunistic little push out, but I think he's misidentified the opportunity here. What is this? I hope this is only helicopters on this. Nope, this is all aircraft. So this is going to guarantee striker deaths. But Basantos is, he's forcing a fight here, and he's got a good number of artillery. Not a lot of infantry here, though. This is 4 strikers. Now the problem I have is that the strikers are gonna have to fly out into range of these missile boats when they go to land. 2 SAMs is not really a respectable position, especially for this many aircraft. But Basantos does what he needs to. The aircraft do what they need to do. And he doesn't delete the command, which is very important. He deletes the command, he loses a lot of strikers. But oh, there he goes. Now he deletes it. Okay. Definitely don't like that decision. This striker gets back because it flew back along the path. So loses a couple extra strikers there that he didn't need to lose. Factory on the way. Daseabneren walking his production out. And yeah, that little run-by force from Basantos gets crushed. Daseabneren has a, what is this? An airport. Finally got some transport boats. And getting up to that northeastern island. Second sub-pin. So these destroyers are going to be very important for Daseabneren to have. I like this little garrison of destroyers to protect that trade port. And Basantos actually has a good force here. Daseabneren's troops are going to be able to trade efficiently, being on the defensive, but this air power being a very big problem for Daseabneren. 983 to 850. So still stronger economy for Daseabneren, but not a big enough difference that he can just outmuscle this larger force from Basantos. Basantos gonna take another stab at this town. Daseabneren very quick to respond. Or is he just moving them out of range of this artillery? Okay, I thought he was actually responding to this. Doesn't have vision of it just yet. What we have? 5? 6 strikers? Unfortunately, gonna aggro onto this cruiser. Gonna give a little bit more time for Daseabneren to respond. Trade route up. And like I said in the map analysis, Basantos being able to hold this piece of Daseabneren's side of the island is a very big problem that Daseabneren needs to take care of. Like, he really needs to solve this. Submarines are very good against missile boats. I don't think 2 of them can take on 6 missile boats, though. Daseabneren ran out of energy. Daseabneren's usually very good about staying on top of the energy. He knows how important energy is to naval maps. That town still isn't dead. Was that a port or is that a town? Town. Basantos has his 2 refineries up. That was crazy. But yeah, Daseabneren has spotted these sub-pins. Aircraft, though, proving very valuable for Basantos, their ability to quickly reach various areas. They've been able to support, provide a lot of support for his other forces. Now Basantos moving around another entrenchment. And all of this is friendly territory for Basantos, so he can still, he's not suffering from the speed penalty of moving through uncontrolled territory. Heard an airstrip get put down. Where was that airstrip? Energy storage. Love to see it. Airstrips are so hard to spot. I'm doubting. Now I'm starting to doubt if I even heard one. I'm fairly certain I did, though. Town here. Interceptor's coming out. This is a good move. Smart pick, because again, Interceptor's very fast, or because aircraft are very fast at and able to cover a very wide area. Also, amphibious landing going on up here. Basantos has spotted it. Has a shipyard up here in the north as well. This is too long of a distance for a single transport boat. Another town. Daseabneren wants to get that other trade route up. Basantos going to take another crack at this town. Meanwhile, his army is winning at the front. Daseabneren with his own attack aircraft, though, going to be able to respond to this. Has his second refinery up as well. Hasting in, tries to get it. Gonna abandon that mission once again, though. Oh no, hasted interceptor. Gonna chase these strikers down. Gets 2. Not gonna get the 3rd. Looks like the helicopters did enough here at the front to kind of even this fight out for Daseabneren. Town on the way, and of course Basantos has been quite sharp with keeping with his economic development once he got to where the eco sites actually were. 1069 for Basantos, 1176. So still very close. There's the airstrip. There it is. So gonna respond to this, to the continued amphibious landing attempts. Basantos able to get his sub-pack into the trade route here. So trade has been heavily disrupted, it looks like. Daseabneren pushing out on the front. Pulls units off of the defensive line and gonna be able to get the advantage on the ground in the push. Daseabneren going for that sub pin. He's using a lot of energy though. This is a lot of boats to try and move at once. Okay, reroutes, wants to protect his trade route. Only 2 strikers. There's definitely time for these missile boats to get over here. Or interceptors. Okay, gonna send interceptors out. 2 more strikers taking off. Are they gonna be able to get here in time to take out this port? Another merchant ship goes down. And these merchant ships are not free. Don't want to have to remake a whole bunch of these. That striker sortie gets completely annihilated. I don't think this striker ever even got to the mission area. Destroyer is gonna come after these subs. So it should be able to take out all the subs without losing any significant, what's it called, infrastructure. Other trade or other port on the way, so second trade route should be up here very shortly for Daseabneren. This does keep Basantos's subpins up for a little bit longer. Also, Basantos getting ready for his own amphibious operation with 3 different landing points. This is something I really appreciate about the way Basantos plays, is he utilizes multiple he'll utilize multiple ships a lot more than other players, and he'll try and split attention as much as possible. Looks like Daseabneren's had a lot of success here at the front. But again, this is kind of just retaking land that should be his. 1169, 1240. This might be out of range for Daseabneren's interceptors. That should be very close to max range. SAMs have been left behind as well for Daseabneren. Deploys the interceptors to try and help hunt down subs. I think they would have been better served over here helping the push at the front. That said, Basantos' air power has been greatly reduced. Losing a striker here and there, and then that big loss of 4 strikers up here. That was a lot of production time on these airports that have gone down the drain. But Basantos working on his own working on getting his own trade route up. Has the port town here, town on the way up in the north, but there are warships for Daseabneren in the area. This multi-pronged amphibious drop has been partially, it's been contested at least. Daseabneren with production here on this island, able to at least stop the landing. Basantos is continuing to send troops in, but it's not quite enough at the moment. Looking for a new target. Gonna go for the main base. I don't think he's gonna get much success there either. A little surprised we haven't seen an aircraft carrier from Basantos. Another shipyard. Okay. I don't like this placement because Daseabneren already knows about this subpin, or these subpins, and is likely to send an attack up there at some point. So it looks like Basantos has given up on the northeastern island. Daseabneren holds. This amphibious operation, I don't think is going to go anywhere either. Yeah, Basantos does pull those landing ships back. This is a very dangerous spot here, this static entrenchment. And it's not a spot that is really assailable. So, yep, rocket time. But Basantos is first to the rocket, it looks like. Does need to be a little careful about where he puts it. There are a lot of SAMs in play, and there's a lot of anti-air in play. So Basantos will want to be selective about where he puts that. Probably doesn't want to fly it over too much land, given how many SAMs are active and in play. It looked like I saw an aircraft go down up here. The town and port definitely go down. Those couple of ships from Daseabneren, of course, go down. Third refinery on the way from Basantos? Yeah, third. And he's still sharking around with these amphibious, or these transport ships. Oh, Basantos says, "I don't care. I'm gonna attack anyway." I don't see this working out for Basantos. There are a lot of troops in reserve here for Basantos. I don't see this assault working out for Daseabneren. There's a lot of troops in reserve for Basantos. Trying to chase down these transport ships. Oh, is Basantos finally going to be able to take down this town with the drop? Got a big furball here. Strikers out for Basantos, helicopters for both players, interceptors for Daseabneren. So this looks like it's going to be another very expensive battle for Basantos. I think the interceptors kind of got distracted by the subs. Maybe they're just out of missiles, actually. That's a very optimistic town from Basantos. Ooh, cruisers getting up here. 2 cruisers can absolutely shut this down. And 3 cruisers even. Daseabneren sees it, gonna bring his navy in. This is several small ships, but 3 cruisers. I know 1 cruiser can take on... No, 3 destroyers barely kills 1 cruiser. So Basantos gonna spread out. He knows that Daseabneren's got to use several ships in order to take down his cruisers. We've got a true meat grinder situation. Holy shit, that's a lot of artillery. Rocket under construction. I expect this rocket to finish in time to hit this army before it does any real damage. We'll have to see, though. Shipyard and subpins being self-destructed by Basantos. And Daseabneren has been able to take down one of the cruisers. We'll get the other 2 as well, and this trade network continues to operate uncontested. Basantos' force is pushing back against Daseabneren, able to push him back. So Red losing ground here in this push. 2 more factories on the way for Basantos. would like to see some sort of... I'm very surprised that Daseabneren is gone for this assault. Very much expected him to hold back and try and go around it somewhere. Strikers coming out from Basantos again. I don't see them getting a whole lot done here, though. Actually, it might be enough to turn the fight here. Aggroed onto the missile boats instead. And now the missile boats are in the fight. Or in the surface fight. We're gonna see another amphibious assault here from Daseabneren. I really hope so. I'm surprised we haven't seen any commandos from either player. Again, I expected to see commando drop from this producer layout. I don't think this amphibious operation is going to be very successful. There are cruisers close enough to get here before a significant amount of troops are moved over. There's also several aircraft. I say several, there's 3 helicopters that I see. Daseabneren, yeah. I'm gonna say needs to be careful not to take too much damage from these infantry. Has his own rocket, or his launch pad building. Quite a bit behind Basantos, though. Basantos much quicker to recognize the static position. Sorry, got a distracting notification. Good news on my phone. Very good news, though, if it is what I think it is. Cruiser's coming up for Basantos. Actually, he hasn't fully rerouted them yet. There it is. There we go. So, cruiser's going to be able to shut that down. Ooh, there's the rocket launch. Should be on the army. Basantos running. And that's going to... Yep. Very painful. 1234, 1772. That was a very good rocket, but Basantos is going to need to move very quickly in order to capitalize on it. Tanks are a good choice. It's going to be a challenge getting them over these, or getting them through this mountain range, though. Another amphibious landing on the way. Basantos already has a position, an entrenched position, a defensive position in place. But he's pulling as much as he can. He's pulling as many units as he can to the front. But yeah, it looks like Daseabneren has gotten enough economy to overpower Basantos. If Basantos isn't able to get this launch pad down, I do not like his chances. But he's pulling everything for this assault. And with this defensive emplacement down, he's going to be able to delay this push. Looks like there's enough anti-air here for Basantos to stop these red helicopters from getting too much damage done. More red helicopters moving in. Navy should be on the way. A cruiser is going to be a big help here. Would like to see Daseabneren get these units offloaded, though. Get them back in the fight. A lot of stuff going on right now, though. Basantos sees this landing. Has 2 barracks up here to support this, so unless Daseabneren builds production up here or brings more units to support this, I think Basantos has enough to halt this landing. pushing forward with combined arms. Cruisers shelling from the shore or from the sea. Aircraft going overhead. We got tanks, we got infantry, we got artillery, we got a little bit of everything for Basantos. Daseabneren pulling his navy out to support as well now. And yeah, both players directing as much as they can to the front. And it looks like Basantos' second rocket is actually ahead of Daseabneren's first. I think Basantos has a pretty good idea of where Daseabneren's production is. I'm curious to see, like, if he's able to fire. No, okay. So Daseabneren should be able to fire his rocket before Basantos gets his second one off. Yeah, needs to support this landing. He's got a buildup of troops, but with only one barrack supporting it, it's not going to be enough. Commando's finally gonna come into play at the 46-minute mark. And this is just a big cluster. Basantos pushing with everything he's got. 500 capital still in the bank, throwing down production, targeting these forgotten transports. Daseabneren opening up another front, has more transports going. For this much water, I'd want three or four transport boats at least. Has a second one on the way at least, though, so that's something. And yeah, I think these cruisers really sapped a lot of strength out of this push. That is very bad news for Basantos. 1310, 1872, 1500 in spending for Daseabneren to 1000 for Basantos. So vastly outspending his opponent, and that's kind of like the total spending is kind of how I judge kind of like army value almost. You could also look at upkeep. So land units 74 and 33 for sea units. I'm trying to like keep the production out of it. Oh, where's that going? Daseabneren or Basantos gets his gets a second rocket off. Takes out a very large number of units. Gonna lose some production here at the front though. And with this additional flow of troops coming up, Daseabneren finally able to break this northern defense. Both sides get reset here in the middle. Basantos trying to get his tanks onto that launch pad. And by firing first, he's going to get his next rocket under construction first as well. I don't think it really matters at this point, though. Daseabneren has very good production. His economy is huge. Basantos finally gets his, finally has his trade route going. Looks like it's been going for a little bit, considering that he's got probably four merchant ships on the underway. City under construction. I don't think Daseabneren has any cities yet. Yeah, no cities built for Daseabneren just yet, but his economy is just fine. And let's see what Basantos has on the ground. 74 in upkeep to 200. That is a lot. That is a lot more units for Daseabneren. production here on the northern end of Basantos' territory as well. Transport moving over, transferring onto this airstrip, but not going to be in time to actually pick up any commandos and move them anywhere. And without that kind of base of production here on the mountain pass, Basantos will be hard pressed to contest this army as it tries to move across. This cruiser will actually kind of pave the way for this amphibious landing to restart if Daseabneren even wants to do that. But yeah, this was a really neat game. There's a lot more back and forth than I expected for this map in particular. Or just the way that this map is set up, I expected it to be a lot more static and grindy, but we saw some really cool moves from both players. And yeah, this is a huge problem because again, Basantos pulled everything he had for that big attack, and yeah, so now he doesn't have anything to protect his backline back here. Trade route gets stopped, and I think we'll be seeing a GG here. Yep, there it is. Okay, there it is. I guess that's one way to GG, so just exit. I thought when you hit resign, it would just like move both players to the end screen, but yeah. Round one of this heavyweight bout goes to Daseabneren. I think we'll see this match. I think we'll see this matchup again later in the tournament. But both players really showing us some good stuff there. Basantos quickly recognizing that static position, getting a rocket up first, gave him some opportunities. He started off in a strategically critical position, but the lack of eco sites there cost him some economy, and access to the center I think cost him quite a bit of kind of economic opportunity as well. The units lost and structural loss tab is kind of skewed because of the way that ended, but yeah, as noted in the map analysis, Daseabneren was able to get onto the water and really dominate it, able to shut down Basantos' airplay with his missile boats. So well played to both, and I look forward to seeing both of these guys later in the tournament, and I look forward to seeing all of you as well. And with that, that's it.